Alright, YouTube, I'm back. I want to make a video about Robert Fuller. Okay, Robert Fuller was not suffering from no mental illness. Alright, and the man was a targeted individual. That's just flat out what it is. The guy was a targeted individual. Alright, and on the news they want to say, well, his death was ruled a suicide, and there was no foul play. Uh, there was no foul play. He was suicidal, and the rope that was found around his neck was like the one that he went and purchased. Okay, let me tell you something. Just because he went and purchased a rope, don't mean that he killed himself. Now, the reason why I say this is because he was being targeted with electromagnetic wave frequencies, all right, and voice to skull. In a previous video, they said that he had uh, been to the mental hospital and was suffering from the auditory effect. Okay, the key word there is the auditory effect. All right, if you look up a guy, his name is Alan Frey. Alan Frey discovered uh, the microwave auditory effect, where you can actually hear microwave frequencies. Okay, and this was all done, I think, in like 1950. All right, so that just tells you how long the government has had access to this type of weapon. Okay, once they figured that out, they was dealing with I think he was working on a ship uh, dealing with a radar. All right, and that's how he figured out that you can hear those frequencies. Okay, so now we got that out the way, and for you people who won't take my word for it, just go look it up. You don't gotta believe me. You could just look at me as, just some damn dude that's talking, but go look it up for yourself. All right. Anyhow, the auditory effect is when the sounds, electromagnetic wave frequencies are sent via broadcast through cell phone towers, your cell phone, pretty much any type of sound that it can bounce off of. Once that target's brain has been selected for torture, okay, they can make him or her hear different voices all day long, whether it be people that they know, co-workers, just somebody outside, and what I've noticed about it, it can be like any type of anything that makes a sound, and those voices was come through that sound, whether it's a vent, a fan, dripping water, car driving by, a motor running. I mean, any type of sound, it bounces off of it. But anyhow, so he was suffering from that. Okay, and this is how I know that this guy was a target individual, because they would put those thoughts of suicide into your head, uh, you know, constantly, 24/7, day and night. You actually hear these different voices, and uh, a lot of people are not strong enough to defeat uh, that remote neural monitoring, because it suggests different negative thoughts all day long, whether it be hurt yourself, hurt other people, uh, you name it. It's all about negativity. So the goal to the thing is to basically kill you, torture you slowly, to study your brain while they're doing it to you, and to see uh, if they can get you to kill yourself or to kill somebody. So basically, to shorten your lifespan. So this is another type of program when it comes to like population control and things of that nature, because uh, anybody can become a target, whether you be someone who uh, ticks somebody off that knows people that can have this done to you, or you could just wind it up in the bunch. Uh, just on a humbug, you could have just ended up in there. Because I know they do this stuff to children, who haven't even had a good life. I know one case of a boy in Mexico went to school, killed this teacher, killed another student, and then killed himself. And then they blamed it on video games and said that the video games was what the reason why he did this. But I don't know a video game yet that gives you the suicide option to kill your damn self. Okay, so that's a bunch of hogwash. But I'm getting a little bit off the topic. But that little boy, he was a targeted person. Okay, he was being targeted with this mind control program that they're basically doing this to the entire world, because remote monitoring is being found in all parts of the world. Okay, so it's about good and evil right now. It's not about that person deserved it and all that shit. I don't know a little 12-year-old that deserved, or any little child that deserved to have their mind played with when their mind is not even developed yet, to have them going to school, shooting up their teachers and shooting up their classmates, and then killing their damn self. All right, so people who like to say, well, the target people, they did something they deserved. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Anyhow, they've given this guy messages, Robert Fuller, to his mind to make him, even that whole suicide thing where he went to the store to go and pick up that rope and buy it. That's all he needed to do for them. If they knew that they was going to take him out beforehand, that's all they needed for him to do, was to have that suicidal thought and have it documented that he was suicidal. Okay? Once you go to a mental institute, you pretty much are giving them the okay to kill you. So if anybody who starts going through it to where, if you're in your late 20s and all of a sudden you just start hearing voices, 9 times out of 10 you are not schizophrenic. Most people who have schizophrenia, and schizophrenia is hearing voices, okay, they will be diagnosed in their early adulthood, late teens. Okay, this is not something that just shows up after you're a full-grown person. You know what I'm saying? It just shows up one day. If that happens to you, then 9 times out of 10, someone or somehow you ended up being targeted with this no-touch torture program. Okay, and this is coming straight from the government. So they talking about an FBI doing an investigation. What the fuck the FBI gonna investigate themselves? They're not doing an investigation on anything. This man has lost his life, and they just gonna sweep it under the rug and say it is another mental illness once again. All right. Everyone in the community where he was at, from family members to the community to the police department, the ambulance, the fire department, all these people are aware when a targeted person moves into their community, and they will sit there and make that person's life hell. Okay, and if that person resists, that's when they try to attack them. Okay, so Robert Fuller, 9 times out of 10, in my opinion, 10 times out of 10, he actually was murdered. Okay, he was murdered, and the foul play is the remote neural monitoring, the electronic harassment, the gang stalking. Okay, if you don't know what it is, look it up. All right, don't take it from me, just look it up. So that's what's wrong with people out in the world today. They won't look things up for themselves, but yet still when the media tell them, oh, this what happened, they'll believe that. Okay, it's several examples over the internet right now where you can go and look up the auditory effect, all right? And you can look up remote neural monitoring. Okay, this stuff is sick. They can play with your emotions. They can play with your thoughts, give you thoughts, and then try to have the perpetrators come at you for a thought that you had. All right, so it's all a big a big mind game that you have to be successful at determining what thoughts are actually yours and what thoughts are not. Okay, so it's like say they want to give you a negative thought to have you go out and purchase a rope, but or a gun. Go out and purchase a gun. You might have a thought in your mind, well, I'm gonna go buy a gun for my protection, but at the same time, that gun can actually be used against you if you let them manipulate your mind to get that gun to do anything otherwise than protecting yourself. And even protecting yourself when it comes to the actual gang stalkers who are in the community, they will be aware of the fact that you are a target. So when you go and get a gun, that will raise the probability of them actually trying to shoot you, because they know that you have a gun and they can try to use that, saying, well, oh, he had a mental problem. Okay, so don't never go to the hospital and get yourself diagnosed as having any type of mental issue, because they will take that and use that to say, well, he had a mental problem. The best way to actually defeat this stuff is to not even really go and tell anybody a damn thing, and just pray about it. You can make videos like this, like I do, and but I wouldn't recommend going to a mental institute or a hospital, okay, because that's only going to make it worse for you. Once you tell people at the hospital or the police department, anything like that, it's only going to make it worse for you. And that's exactly what happened with this man. So Robert Fuller was a target individual. Okay, the same thing happened to Aaron Alexis, the Naval Yard shooter. Same thing. So Aaron Alexis, he went and lashed out. Okay, Robert Fuller, 9 times out of 10, he wasn't he was murdered, but they gonna say, well, it was a suicide. Okay, then you have Myron Mays. Myron Mays was the Florida State shooter. Okay, and he documented videos about what was going on with him. Another thing I like to point out too, they said that Robert Fuller was working with a caseworker at DHS. All these government places like DHS, the FBI, the Department of Children's Services, all these people, they know about this stuff, okay? And it's strange because I actually was going through a court case for custody of my sons. And once I gained custody of my sons, that's when I started being targeted the most. If I was targeted before then, I really wasn't aware of it, but that's when I started receiving the auditory effect of V2K. So in my opinion, they it's like they wanted to have me lose my mind. He lost his mind. He not fit for parenthood. But I never did go to a hospital, and I still deal with it day to day, every day. and I take care of my kids just fine. So don't never go and let them sucker you into, uh, you know, uh, going to tell somebody you want to kill yourself, all that kind of stuff, because it only makes it easier for them to actually attack you. So, my advice to any other targets, I'm not saying that you can't share your story about what's going on with you, but never go to a mental hospital. Never let nobody take you to a mental hospital. Just deal with it the best way you can. Try to figure out ways to combat the surveillance, whether it be, I like to put cameras around my place. That way, if someone tries to say, well, he did this and he did that, now I got a camera right here. You ain't see me leave my place. I've been in the house. You see what I'm saying? And vice versa for the people on the outside. If they try to come around fucking with shit, they like to vandalize shit and come around poking their nose around, try to make life hell for do all kind of little goofy ass shit. But I would just advise you to try to keep your anger down, because you're not gonna win against these guys, man. I'm telling you, these guys are complete fucking douchebags, So you can't win against a whole gang of fucking idiots. The only thing you can do is just live day to day. All right, but like I said, Myron Mays, Aaron Alexis, Robert Fuller, and so many more. It's lots of these examples of this stuff. Like I said, a 12-year-old boy in Mexico. Okay, 12 years old. All right. If you guys you can look up those stories, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is actually a government program, just like all the other stuff that they got going on right now with all this coronavirus and pointing the fingers at every which way, all this old they doing all this damn Black Lives Matter. They trying to create a divide amongst the people, and having everyone quarantined and sitting in the house, raising your stress levels to where they can attack you with those frequencies more better and make you more acceptable to those electromagnetic thoughts. Okay, so they put those thoughts in different people and then have them nutting up out in the streets, like even with the riots, with all the people going out and doing the rioting, that's large numbers of people being attacked on a large scale by electromagnetic wave frequencies. Okay, and it's making them go into a frenzy. All right, that's what makes them act like that, because all it needs is a little bit of your own emotion, and then it can kickstart that from 0 to 100 within probably a millisecond. Okay, so you just have to know when to check yourself and say, well, is this what I really want to do? Because if not, they're gonna get you every time with these damn thoughts, with your emotions and so forth. Okay, so if you look up your frontal lobe, which is located in your forehead region, where your brain is, if you research that, and it'll tell you what that frontal lobe deals with. Okay, it has to deal with your emotions. It has to deal with all kind of different emotions in your brain. Okay, and they're attacking all parts of your brain with these frequencies. All right. So, yeah, this is exactly what happened with Robert Fuller and so many more targeted individuals out here. All right, peace.